so excited to welcome you back to campus starting on April 12th. This video is to go over all of the details about returning to campus and hopefully give you some more clarity about what to expect next week. If there's anything that I miss, if there's anything that you have questions still about, feel free to comment or send me an email at kwarren2@sandy.net and I will do my best to find an answer for you. In the meantime, we appreciate your patience and we understand how slow and confusing this process has been. It's been the same for us. We are trying to provide more clarity as we are able to figure it out and as we're able to work through this together. So just as we've been doing all year, we so appreciate your patience and look forward to seeing you in person, masked, next week. For the first time in forever, we'll be coming back to school. Just kidding, I'm not going to do a musical of this. But we are returning to campus for the first time in forever, so our presentation is definitely Frozen themed, and I will include a little soundbite later for you of Majestic also welcoming us back for the first time in forever. So this is the video that is supposed to be going over all of the details and providing you clarity about what returning to campus is going to look like. These are some of the highlights of the things that we're going to be going over during our time in this video. We want to specifically go over the map of the campus, like where classes are and where some of the water fountains and bathrooms and other important places are. We'll talk about leaving classes, rules and classroom expectations, what to do if you feel sick, the schedule, transportation, like busing, PE and dance, what to bring with you to school, and we'll go over a little bit of the consequences as well, because we want to be as clear as possible. First up, here's Mr. Thomason to give us a little tour of the school, including a map of where your classes are and some of the other important places on campus.
Good morning, CPMA students. This is Mr. Thomason coming to you live from my home office. I'm here today to talk to you about our return to school and to walk you through the procedures both for entering campus and then what to expect once you find our campus. For many of you, this will be your first time setting foot on CPMA school grounds. And so we wanted to take time to walk you through the school to give you a little virtual tour, if you will, of what you can find and where you can find it. So we're going to go ahead and start by walking this. So I apologize if it seems a little jittery at times. So essentially, when you come to school on April 12th, when you return to school, there will be two ways for you to get onto campus, either by walking or by riding the bus. So there are two gates through which you will pass either by bus or walking. The first is our walking gate. And so all students who are walking to campus, arriving on foot, being dropped off by parents outside of the gates, will come in through the front gate of the school. If you are riding a bus, you will come in on the bus, park along the auxiliary parking lot and the sidewalk here. You will then be escorted off the bus one at a time, so one bus at a time. And you will come down to the 500 breezeway over here where you will exit or enter the school. All right. So how do you get through these two gates? Because they will be manned by staff who will be positioned throughout to make sure that all students are following safety guidelines and procedures coming onto campus. So first, let's talk about where our entry tables are. Whether you are walking to school or riding a bus, there will be tables set up both at the front entrance and at the 500 breezeway entrance that students will have to pass through in order to be allowed to come onto campus. So let's talk about if you have your ClearPass. First of all, it's important to know that all students must have a ClearPass in order to enter campus. So if you have your ClearPass, whether it's on your phone or whether you have a paper copy of it, you will go through one of the green gates here, the green tables here. So we will have tables set up for all students who have a ClearPass. And these tables are set up at essentially every entryway into the school here. So if you have a ClearPass, you show it to one of the adults at the tables and they will let you through. Now, what happens if you don't have a ClearPass? If you don't have a ClearPass, we have tables set up, 2 in the front. We'll have probably 2 over here, and there will be people set are sitting outside those tables with paper copies of the ClearPass and a thermometer, and they will walk you through all of the questions and you will complete your ClearPass form. Once you have your ClearPass form filled out, you're going to go back to the green tables and show that form. So it's really important that you remember every morning before you come to school, before you get on the bus, before you get in your car, that you complete the ClearPass form. We will be sharing with you information on how to access the ClearPass form from your phone or your computer. And if you do not have that, we will have paper copies for you that you could also fill out. So again, just to summarize, walking students go through the front gate, bus students go through the 500 breezeway. If you have a ClearPass, you'll go through these tables that are green. And if you do not have a ClearPass, you will have to fill one out, be checked over by an adult, and then proceed to the green tables to go through. So that's how we get onto campus. There are only 2 places that you can enter campus. Do not come through gate 1. There will be an adult to turn you away. You will not be allowed to go to gate 2. And no students or adults will come through gate 3. So you're on campus. Let's give you a quick tour. If this is your first time on campus, this is the basic layout. We have 5 wings of buildings over here on the west side. And then we have our PE over here, our Performing Arts Center, and then our kitchen over here. So we'll go through one at a time and kind of fill you in on what to expect. So the first thing I want you to note is that our buildings are labeled with all odd numbered rooms on the south facing side, the street side, and all even numbered rooms for every building will be on the north or the PE field facing side. So if you have a class in room 101, it's going to be right here in the corner. If you have a class in room 110, it's going to be on the inside of that building facing the PE field. So that's how you can kind of quickly gauge which direction you're going to go when you get onto campus. So the 100 building has a lot of our 6th grade classes attend here. And so that is mostly where your 6th grade students are going to attend. The next building we want to look at is our 200 building here. And the most important thing to know about the 200 building, other than the fact that these are where your remaining 6th grade classes primarily will be, including your science, your English, and your math over here. But the most important part of that is your counseling center here. So our counseling center is located in room 202. So anytime you need to see a counselor or are called to counseling office, you will go to 202. We have our 300 building. And the most important thing to note about our 300 building is the location of our library. So this is where you will find our library entrance. Textbooks can be picked up here. Reading books can be picked up here. 400 building is next. And the 400 building is primarily where we have our 7th and 8th grade, more 8th than anything over here. And the next most important thing is to notice that in room 402, we have a large dance studio. Moving on, we have our science building over here. This is where all of our 7th and 8th grade science is located. And you can find this building just by looking for the bright blue roof that you will see. Over here, next we go to our PE area. I told you we had a dance studio over here in room 402. We also have a dance studio over here in room 801. So our 2 dance rooms, 402 and 801. We have our girls' locker room over on the east or west side of the building, and our boys' locker room over on the east side of the PE building. And then in the back, we also have an activity room. And in that activity room is where we have weights and other things like that that our students typically like to use. All right, moving on. Here we have 2 important rooms for you. First, if you are part of prime time, the prime time room is down here. So your parents would come through, drop you off. You would have to be checked by the prime time staff, and then you will go into the prime time room. We also have down here our Black Box Theater, which in normal times, we do a lot of performances and a lot of groups perform here. It's a large studio. And right now, it is not open for student use, but who knows what will happen in the days to come. All right, moving on, we have our 500 building, and we consider this to be the start of our arts complex here. We have our drawing and 2 and 3D art over here, followed by stagecraft, our video production room over here, theater, and then here's our choir. So if you are taking one of our art classes, chances are you're going to be somewhere over in the 500 building. The next building I want to talk about briefly is the Performing Arts Center. I'm going to take that off. The Performing Arts Center is where our orchestra and our orchestra in room 1002 and band in room 1003. So if you're taking band or orchestra, you will come through the 500 breezeway over to one of these 2 rooms. So that is band and orchestra. And then we do have our Performing Arts Center, our stage, and that may be used depending upon need if we have to house students there at times. And then the final place I want to talk about is our front office area. And this is where pretty much all of the business of the school takes place. Checking in here, if you are late, typically you will come into the front office, get a late slip, and go to class over there. Site Tech is where you would go if you need to talk to somebody about getting your computer repaired or replaced. Finance office, if you need to buy yearbooks or PE clothes or things along that line. We will likely not be suiting up this year for PE, so we do not need to have PE clothes. We do ask that on PE days you come dressed comfortably for your PE class. My office, the principal's office, is right down here. Next to that is the admin and assistant's office, and the VP is over on this side. And then finally, the most important office on campus right now during our COVID times is our health office. Any student who presents with any sort of COVID symptoms will report to the health office, and we will either send you home or check you out and send you back to class, depending upon the need. So this is where our COVID staging area will be. And this is where students who need to go home will wait for their parents to come pick them up. All right, so that is the basic look, and I'm just going to very quickly summarize again. Remember, we have 2 entrances to the campus, the pedestrian entrance, the walking entrance, and then the bus entrance down here at the 500 breezeway. Students must pass through one of the entry tables. The green tables are if you have a ClearPass already in hand. The orange tables are if you do not have a ClearPass. Yes, ClearPass. No ClearPass. So you have to have a ClearPass to enter the school. So that's basically the layout of our school, and I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. These maps are also on the back of your planner if you picked up a planner before school, so you can use it to kind of guide you around here. And we hope you have a great year, and I look forward to seeing you in the coming days. So
this video is posted in multiple different places, and this presentation is also posted on a lot of different teachers' Google Classrooms, so you can review the presentation or the video, whatever works best for you. The most important thing that I want you to remember is that this is for everyone's safety. It's not supposed to feel like a punishment. Even though some students are joking that it kind of feels like we're going more to a prison than to school, this is really just to keep everybody safe. So now we have 2 possibilities for our schedule, but what we have found out today is that we will be following a 4-day schedule. So as of now, there's about 55% of students who are choosing to come on campus for the hybrid learning. So those students will be on campus Monday through Thursday. So that's going to be the students who are choosing to come on campus. And Fridays, everyone is online. Then there's another group of students who are staying online the whole time. So what this means is that teachers will be teaching simultaneously to those who are online and those who are in person. So teachers were given extra cameras and tripods so they can set it up in their classrooms, whatever works best for them. So if you are at home on Zoom, you are tuning in to the exact same thing as if you were in person. So that's one of the most important things to keep in mind. You're not getting new teachers, you're not getting a new schedule. Some of you will just be on campus Monday through Thursday, and others will be online. But then everyone is at home online on Fridays. Now, this is the schedule starting April 12th. So this starts next Monday. We're trying not to change a lot, so we'll still have 2 periods per day. Mondays and Wednesdays are periods 1 and 2, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are period 3 and 4. They're the same times with the 10-minute passing period in between. The change is on Friday. Friday is now a more prep and plan day for teachers because simultaneous teaching is new. So this is more of a day for us to be able to plan and prep for how to teach both online and in person. So instead of doing the normal 1.5 to 2 hour blocks on Fridays, we're going to be doing 15-minute quick check-ins. Now this is this week. I'll go over it very briefly. Just so that everyone is on the same page, but we're already in this week, so you're already doing it. So we're doing Monday, Wednesday, period 1 and 2, Tuesday, Thursday, periods 3 and 4. This Friday is a period 1, 2 Friday. So the only difference is that classes are going to be an hour this week. And that's because in between, after teaching all these things, your teachers are getting their classes set up to follow all of the rules to keep you safe. So they needed to give us some time to do that. So the class times start at the same time, but they are only an hour for this week, and that includes on Friday. You will be given extra flex time work, more asynchronous work that you can work on independently. There's a lot of questions around transportation and busing and what bus stops are going to be available. We should be getting that information as a site on Thursday, and then we will be sending that out to student email accounts Thursday evening or Friday morning is our goal. We do not know if you're going to hear directly from transportation, but we have been told they're going to give us that information on Thursday. So you'll be getting an email to your student email account Thursday evening or Friday morning. Please make sure that you check your student email on Friday to see if you've received that email. The other thing about busing is they have spray painted the bus seats for where you cannot sit, and all windows will be down while you are riding the bus, and you are required to wear your mask on the bus as well. So please make sure you are following those rules. So when we're talking about coming to school, the technology that you need to bring to school with you every day is the computer and charger. Most teachers are going to continue to teach through the computer on Google Classroom, even though some of you will be in person. It's just a lot of stuff to think about having to print and use pencils and all that kind of stuff with the rules that we have. So most teachers are going to continue using the computer, so you'll be using them in classes daily. We are strongly encouraging you to label your computer and charger with your name and grade level. That would be best. You want to use something that is removable but won't fall off on its own. So like a piece of masking tape or a sticky note that you can tape down on all sides. That's so just in case you leave something behind in a classroom, we know whose it is, because they're all going to look the same. Now, a lot of students have been asking about using their personal computers. You can, but we do not recommend it. And that is because if something happens to your personal computer, we as the school cannot replace it. We would give you a school computer then, so you'd at least be able to do your schoolwork, but it's not going to be your computer to keep. So we would encourage you to leave your personal computer at home and make sure you're using a school one at school. If you have not yet checked out a school computer, you can email Miss Dowling, our librarian. Her email is on the screen, and I'll put it in the comments so you can email her and figure out how to get one. Now, we all know that we are still in a pandemic, but we are trying to bring everyone back to school. So what that means is there is a chance that people are going to come down sick on campus. So what happens if you feel sick or if a staff member feels sick is you go to the nurse's office. So you're going to tell the nearest adult. If you're in class, you're going to tell your teacher. If you're on the bus, you're going to tell your bus driver. And they're going to take you to the nurse's office so that you can be isolated and kept away from anyone just in case it's COVID. We don't want it spreading until someone can pick you up. There is a lot of information about PE and dance that are still being figured out. So you need to talk specifically to your PE and dance teachers about this. They will have the most up-to-date and accurate information for you. So I'm going to encourage you to wait for information from them because it's still being figured out. Now the rules here, we are still following a 6-foot social distancing rule. So in all of your classes, you will be 6 feet apart. They are allowing 5 foot at the minimum, but no one will be within 5 feet of anybody else. There's no congregating allowed in common areas. So if those of you who were with us before, when you get off the bus, you would arrive on campus early before school, a lot of people would hang out in the quad. Well, that's not going to be allowed anymore. No congregating in the hallways or in the bathrooms, that kind of thing. You always have to be 6 feet away from somebody else. Face mask is required at all times, but we have face masks available, but you're also welcome to use your own. So we encourage you to bring one that you are most comfortable with. But if you don't have one or forget one for the day, we will help you out there. As of now, I'm being told that you have to wear a mask during PE, but again, this is one of those things that might change. This is one of those things that's still being figured out, so make sure you are checking with your PE and dance teachers about this. Now, being on campus for 4 hours is quite a long time to go without a snack. So during the break, the 10-minute break between periods, if you can be 10 feet away from others outside, then you are welcome to eat your snack. So you can remove your mask to eat your snack. But you need to stay 10 feet away from everybody, so you shouldn't be walking down the hallway eating your snack. You should be close to your next class and then standing far away from everybody else. So just keep that in mind, 10 feet away to eat your snack, please. Now this one's really important too. I'm going to say that probably about everything, that it's all really important. But when you want to leave class, you have to have an escort, and that's for multiple reasons. We can't have multiple people in the bathrooms. It depends on the size of the bathroom, but not all of the stalls can be used. So there's going to be an adult escort to make sure that that's being followed in each of the bathrooms. So what that means is if you're in class and you need to go to the bathroom, you're going to have to wait for your teacher to call an escort, for the escort to get to you, then to walk down to the bathroom, and then there might be a line because there might be other people waiting to use the restroom too. So try to use the bathroom before school, during passing period, during your break, and after school. But if you need to go during class, don't wait until you really have to go. Ask before that moment. Because it's going to take some time to get you down to the restroom. As you're walking down the hallways, pay attention to the new signage that's spray painted on the ground. There's arrows showing you which side you should be on for which direction you are walking. Remember that during passing period and in the hallways, you're required to be 6 feet apart from everybody else, as well as wearing your mask at all times. One cool thing about having the hybrid approach is the absences. A lot of times students would tell me previously that they missed the bus, so they couldn't come to school. Well, now you can, even if you miss the bus. Just jump on Zoom. If you are absent for any reason, if you are able to join Zoom, please join your class via Zoom. If that's what works best for you, if that's what you have access to, please, we encourage you to get on Zoom if you cannot be at school. So entering campus, there are daily COVID screenings. It's called a ClearPass, and there are a paper version as well as a website. So this is the link here, and these links I believe are on our school website. So there's a link to the actual ClearPass, and there's instructions on how to use it if you need to. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case there's an instruction guide for you. So you'll click this link and it will bring you to the ClearPass website. So you can log in with your school username and password, and it asks you like 7 questions, and you can say yes or no. At the end, it gives you a green good to go or a red stay home. So you're supposed to fill this out before you come to school, but if you don't have a phone or if you don't have access to filling it out beforehand, when you get to school, there is a paper version available. So you are welcome to fill it out once you get to school too. Now, when you get to school, you have 2 entrances. So there's the front gate. So if you're being dropped off by a parent or a guardian, you'll get dropped off at the front. If you come on the bus, then you'll be dropped off in our normal busing areas. So there's 2 busing areas. There's one down on the canyon side of the school, and then there's the one that's around the Performing Arts Center. So both of those will be available for buses. When you get off the bus, you will show your ClearPass. So if that's on your phone, you'll show them that. If you need to fill one out when you're there, you're welcome to do that. If you take extra versions of the paper one home and you just have one of those available, you're welcome to do that as well. But there will be tables there for you. Now, this is really important for students and families. At 9:15, all gates will be closed and locked. We are not allowing anybody on campus outside of students and staff. If you arrive late to school and you're coming, like you're being dropped off by a parent or guardian, you'll have to call the front office if it's after 9:15 so that someone can let you in. Important to note that if your parents are picking you up early, if you have an appointment, that they will have to call the office as well. So make sure that if you are getting picked up early, that you are planning for that to take extra time. I would say plan for that to take up to 15 minutes because of the amount of communication that it's going to take. So we wouldn't want you to be late, so make sure you plan for that extra time. Now, when students leave campus, you can exit through the same entrances that you used before, the front of the school if you're being picked up by a parent or guardian, or the bus area. And students will be offered a grab and go bag for lunch. So there's no eating on campus, you'll take that lunch and you'll go home. Now this website, this is on the district website, it links to the food pickup locations. So I'm going to encourage you that if you would like to get food from one of our pickup locations, that you go to this website and it will tell you the latest information. So to tell you all the schools that are serving the food. So every day you're at CPMA, you'll be offered food while you're here. But if you're not at CPMA, if maybe you're an online only student, or maybe you're online just for the day, or on Fridays when we don't have anyone on campus, you can go to any of these locations and pick up food, whatever is closest to you. And I believe they will give you breakfast and lunch between noon and 2 p.m. Another thing to note is that there is lines for the bus. And I'm going to send it over to Mr. Thomason to talk to us about that right now.
Hello, boys and girls. We are going to teach you today how to line up for the buses now. You will no longer be going to the bus straight from your class out to the bus. You're now going to be lining up inside the quad. And if you look up, you'll see that we now have letters for the buses. We have bus A, bus B, bus C, all the way down to bus I. So we're going to show you what it's like to line up. I have some students who are going to volunteer to help line up here. So as you can see, the students are walking towards the bus. The class is over. Students are going to come and they're going to line up 6 feet apart. All right, so our first group of students over here is bus A. They are 6 feet. Here comes our bus B group. They're lining up and they're going to be 6 feet apart. Nice job. Let's see how well they do. Perfect. All right, so my bus A group, they've all lined up. They're about 6 feet apart. My bus B group has all lined up. They're about 6 feet apart. My bus C group would line up, my bus D group, and so on and so forth. We're going to do this every day, boys and girls, so when the bell rings and it's time to go home at 1 o'clock, you will come in or come out of your classroom and line up 6 feet apart along the bus A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, or I line. All right? Say thank you to my wonderful student helpers. Give yourselves a round of applause, student helpers. Nice job. All right.
So some other information. There are hand washing stations that they have added to our campus. They are near both entrances to the school. So since we're using that front gate and we're using the busing gate by the 500 building, that's where those will be. There's multiple sanitizer stations around campus, as well as in each of your classrooms. There's sanitizers on the back walls. The drinking fountains were turned off, the ones that you have to like put your mouth on. Those were turned off. Those are not COVID friendly, but they were replaced with fill stations. So you can bring a water bottle and fill that up there. So we are encouraging you to bring water bottles. And please also know that if in class you are sharing any items, even if it's like period 1 and period 2 are both using the same thing, it will be wiped down before you use it. So just know everything will be wiped down before you are touching it. It will be fresh and clean for you. Now, another important thing to know is every staff member is going to be tested every other week. So our first day to be tested is April 6th. That's when staff will be tested. Now, students, you are allowed to be tested when you are on campus. So if you would like to be tested, if your parents or guardians would like you to be tested, you can join in on that anytime they're on campus. Since it continues to come up is how to properly wear your mask. So I'm going to show you. This is how to properly wear your mask. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. That is not okay.
For the first time in forever, I don't remember the rest of the song. Can you help me find the song? Cause this came out in like 2013. I don't feel like singing this. Me! I'm singing. Oh, shoot.
This is a great visual made by one of our teachers, Mrs. Payne, who wanted to remind everyone of the important things to bring to school every day. So you want to make sure you bring your ClearPass, so if it's a piece of paper or the app, your Chromebook and charger. We would encourage you to bring extra masks if you have them available, especially if you're using the disposable ones. But remember, we have extra ones available. We are encouraging you to bring a water bottle so you can use those fill stations. If you want to bring a snack and a jacket. While it is unclear if we have to keep our windows open at all times, it is something that you want to be aware of. Many teachers might be keeping the windows open to encourage that airflow. So we would encourage you to have a jacket just in. With that, CPMA students, I hope that we have covered all of the information, all of the details, everything that you ever wanted to know about returning to campus on Monday, April 12th. If there's anything we missed, please comment below, send me an email, someone will respond to you and get that answer to you. And chances are, if you have that question, somebody else has that question. So we appreciate your patience, we appreciate your positivity during this time, and we so appreciate you staying with us at CPMA. School returns in person on April 12th, and we look forward to seeing you.